Do you want to become the next Sisana Manje, Kadila Momo, or the next judge of Namibia? Then you have to do JTC. And here's what nobody tells you about practicing law in Namibia. On another episode of Keeping Up with Queen P. So JTC stands for Justice Training Center, and you get into JTC to become an attorney, but here in Namibia we call them legal practitioners. So JTC is when Namibian law graduates are trained to become legal practitioners. So if you have permanent residence or you are Namibian by heart, you qualify to do your JTC. And even if you're a Namibian that did law in SA, Zambia, Tanzania, you can still do JTC here in Namibia. So JTC consists of two things. So you have your legal board exams. If you've ever heard someone say they've been called to the bar, they are talking about their board exams, which consist of 11 modules, where you do your midterms and then your finals. But finals is only for people who have qualified and have gotten 40%. And 600 to 800 working hours, which is your practical legal training. So the reason why I say 600 to 800 hours is because you might think that you have really worked your 600 hours, but the board can bring those 600 hours down. And that means that you haven't finished up your practical legal training. So it's very safe for you to acquire 800 working hours. So think of JTC like this. You know how doctors and accountants need to have licenses to practice? That's basically what JTC is all about. So let's talk about the application process. So currently right now, the application process will be opening from the 10th of November 2025 till the 10th of December 2025. You will find it in the newspaper, and if you are a UNAM student, you will find it on your WhatsApp group. But any other information that you need, contact the Ministry of Justice. So in terms of the application process, there is a form that you fill out. You'd also need to attach your CV, your ID certified, your high school certificate needs to be certified as well. And then you have to have 2 academic testimonials and 1 professional testimonial. But this testimonial is not the basic testimonial that you get from people. This testimonial is based off of your good character. So whoever is writing your testimonial needs to speak of your character. Are you reliable? Are you trustworthy? The whole JTC training is to see whether you're fit and proper to become a legal practitioner. And fit and proper basically means, are you trustworthy? Do you have a good character? Do you have a good reputation? All those sorts of things. There is no set requirement to apply for JTC, I believe so. So whether you pass with 50s, pass with 60s, you can apply to JTC. The next thing that I would go on to is I really believe that there is a fear in JTC, you know? There is a fear in practicing law in Namibia, and seniors tend to make juniors really scared. JTC is not like LLB law. JTC is something really strenuous. It takes a lot from your time, and people are really going to tell you that it's difficult. So you really need to have some discernment, because that can bring you down. The administration process is also really bad, so that can also demotivate you, and that can also lead to you thinking like, no, you're not gonna make it, you're gonna fail. So be careful. Be careful with people telling you that legal drafting, civil procedure, estates is hard. I know I'm still a part of the process, but you're going to be hearing that a lot. JTC gives out a year planner from everything that happens till when you start till when it ends. About how the teaching will commence, about when you will get your assignments. And trust me, they don't stick to the year planner. Currently, right now, I have done all my assignments. I've done 10 of my assignments, and I only know 3 assignment marks. So when I wrote my midterms, I didn't know how I did in order to see where I can improve, so I can obtain the 40% in order to write my finals. And when I write my finals, I will only get my exam marks next year because that is how long they take to mark. And on the beautiful planner given by JTC, lecturers are supposed to be done marking a very long time ago. So be prepared that you will wait for a lot of things at JTC. Be prepared that they are going to overload you with work right before your midterms happen. And even if you ask for an extension for your exams, they will not give it to you. So make sure you are prepared. Don't let this year planner fool you. They are not going according to the schedule. The only thing that they go according to schedule is the exam dates. So no, you will not get an extension. Somewhere, somehow in your busy schedule, find time to study, because if you don't, you are. So your assignment mark counts 20% and your midterm exam counts 20%, gives you 40% in order for you to qualify and write your finals, where you have to get a final mark of 50% each for each module. So how modules go is that each module is for a week and then you get an assignment. And how the examination period is that you write for 3.5 weeks straight, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. That's why I say make sure you are prepared, because a lot of us were studying in those gap days. It wasn't impossible, but we made it.
You said this will be ready by when?
This will be ready by tomorrow morning.
What do you mean tomorrow morning?
It's just windows and doors that are remaining. By tomorrow morning, everything will be done.
But what about the stones?
The stones will be carried right now.
In terms of reading materials, a lot of the JTC information is quite outdated. So for example, in legal drafting, the particulars of claim in the reader has a legal conclusion. And a POC is a pleading, and all pleadings should only have material facts and not legal conclusions. So if you're not cross-referencing and you just copy with from that, you will lose marks. So it's very important to cross-reference. Also, the magistrate's court reader, some of the sections are not the same as the act, so cross-reference, otherwise you lose marks completely. It's very important to have friends in JTC, because you will be able to get assistance within your assignments. Not copy, but it can really help, especially since they will cramp you with so much work. So the midterm exams might be bad. You might score a lot of marks in your assignment, and it's very important to take your assignment seriously, because anything can happen in the midterms. They are testing you and they're really trying to trick you so that they can kick you out, not in a bad way, but they're trying to test you. They have to give you the loops and everything, make it a bit difficult for you. So make sure you focus on your assignments and get in those friend groups. On my end, I decided that I am just gonna focus on my modules, and then next year I am going to do my 600 to 800 working hours. So what happens is, once you get your contract of employment, you have to submit your contract of employment to the Ministry of Justice, and you keep a diary where you log all the hours of every single thing you do. Then once you're done, you give it to the board. Also, when you're working, I don't really know much about the working experience, but be careful, Some people are going to underpay you. You're also going to get bosses who don't want to give you leave to study, I heard some of my classmates were like, yeah, I only have 10 days leave. Or they would be like, yeah, I only have 5 days leave. Or because I just started, I have no leave. And I'm just like, I don't think that is supposed to happen, because they know. For me, I'm just thinking they know that you are supposed to be undergoing your board exams and you are supposed to be studying. So why would they not offer you leave, if that's part of what you need to do? I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Don't shoot me, don't shoot the messenger. There's not really much to it, but I just want to say, really be strong. I only found out about JTC my second year. Some other classmates of mine can relate. I don't think there's a lot of information with regards to JTC, how the process goes. Also, since it's a very fearful thing, I mean, you hear like 90% of students fail. You get to hear from the horse's mouths that it's difficult. Lecturers will even come to class and tell you that no, if you're not attached, you're gonna find it difficult. So I just want to put some hope out there, because once you really get there, you will really feel that spirit that's there. It's not a good spirit, it's not a good vibe. You can feel how people's hopes of really passing and finishing all their modules just turns into another haywire where they're just like, nah, I'm gonna stay in JTC for a year, or I'm not divorcing JTC. Everything is just so negative, and guys, energy cannot be destroyed but only transferred. And if this negativity is all around you, definitely it will come to you too. Even with our right of audience, apparently we were supposed to get our right of audience in July and it's now September. So that shows you they're really, really bad with administration, and there's a lot of chaotic things happening. But I really want you to keep your head up. Don't succumb to the pressure. I remember someone told me that I'm wasting time because I decided to do my hours next year. There will be people that will tell you such things, but you really need to know who you are, know yourself. I just did that because I knew that I wouldn't be able to handle school and work, and also just seeing the working environment is not really that great of an environment. You get toxic bosses. I've been with people who've mentioned that right now they're dealing with toxic bosses, but they can't do anything. They just need to endure it. And I just feel like in terms of JTC, your mental health can really be at stake, if you're not careful and if you're not mentally prepared. So if you plan on doing it, please mentally prepare yourself. Even during the process, please do keep yourself sane, because it can really make you go crazy. You need a support system. You need people to be there for you, especially when you're working and going to school. I have spoken to people who have done that, and they said that in order for them to pass within that 1 year, they cut off their whole social life. So there are some sacrifices that you need to make in order to pass JTC. It is very serious. You need to put in the hours. You need people to support you, because it's also, classes are in the evening, so when you come back home it's late. You need someone to be cooking a meal for you. But any other questions, let me know down below in the comments. I forgot to mention that at JTC we have 11 modules. So number 1 is civil procedure in the lower courts, high courts, and Supreme Court. We have legal drafting, number 2. Number 3 is commercial transactions and contract drafting. Number 4 is criminal procedure. Number 5 is insolvency. Number 6 is wills and estates. Number 7 is constitutional law. Number 8 is labor law. Number 9 is motor vehicle accident fund. Number 10 is bookkeeping, and number 11 is professional ethics. But here is the flip side of things. So modules like wills and estates, commercial transactions, and contract drafting, as well as civil procedure in the lower courts, high courts, and magistrates courts, those 3 are separate modules. Sometimes they get taught by different lecturers, but when you write them, you get 2 different papers, 2 different answer sheets, but you have to complete that within 3 hours. So for commercial transactions and contract drafting, it's 2 separate papers, 2 separate answer booklets, and 2 separate lecturers, but you write that all in 3 hours. The same with civil procedure in the magistrates courts, different paper, and then in the high court and Supreme Court, different paper, wills, different paper, estates, a different paper.